state population is downstate. Some have suggested your positions will evolve. How do you evolve your positions without appearing to give a principle, and how do you see this going?
Well, there's enormous place for common ground on all these issues. And so, for example, as we talked about guns earlier, I'm going to protect hunters' rights. I think it's very important for upstate. It's important for our national heritage. It's important for who we are as Americans. I think it's a core value. But there's such a different debate about how do you keep our streets free from gun violence, and how do you keep our kids safe, and how do you keep guns out of the hands of criminals. And those are all areas I've always believed in and will always fight for. And because I represent the whole state now, those are going to be issues that will come to the forefront of advocacy for me. And so that's the way some of the issues that I'll be talking about will embrace all of the needs and priorities of people who live all across the state.
But you were on a different side in terms of legislation that would have shared information with...
Not in every instance. For example, Carolyn McCarthy has a cornerstone of her advocacy is a piece of legislation that I voted for. It was in the wake of the Virginia massacre, and we wanted to have a piece of legislation to make it easier to have background checks, to make sure people who had mental instability could not have access to guns. I voted for that legislation, and that's where the common ground exists. And so these are things I believed in, and I've actually voted for in the past, and will continue to, and can become an advocate for, because obviously in some of the downstate communities, these are the #1 priorities. I didn't have any big towns in upstate New York, and we didn't suffer from the tragedies of gun violence on the same level that lots of downstate places have. So now, as a senator, my role becomes I have to advocate for all of these priorities. And so my